we got another Tesla at the shop. So this one is the new Model Y. So it's coming in for a color change paint protection film wrap, specifically using Pure. So with that being said, let's jump into it and show you the new color. All right, so that's that. So we pretty much got the whole entire vehicle all prepped. So we have a few things disassembled. When you're wrapping a vehicle like this, you don't really have to take every single little piece apart and off. So for example, like the headlights are gonna stay. We loosen up the bumper here just so we can get in between the joints here. So that makes it a little bit easier. Film will nicely tuck. We've actually done a couple of these already, so I have pretty good experience with it. The mirrors stay on, there's no need to remove those. We definitely obviously we remove the moldings there, front, back. The back bumper, what we're gonna do is loosen it up as well. You have a bolt there, so we'll unscrew that. We'll pop the bumper off. Here you have a pretty decent gap, but it does get a little bit tighter here. You always wanna be very, very careful in these areas when you're layering on film from both sides and you're rolling it over. It's like a hit or miss. Sometimes the film never lifts, and sometimes the film does lift a little bit from the two panels rubbing together a little bit, and that can push the film out a little bit. So you have to make sure you tell your customers about that can happen. For example, in this area right here, the gap here is not that bad at all, but as you can see, it is pretty tight here compared to right over here. We've seen instances where this is actually pushed up right up against the panel. So when you end up wrapping the film over, and no matter how far you tuck it, you'll still get a little bit of pushback because this trim piece here is way too tight up against the panel there. The dual motor badge is removed. Well, color, right? Have you seen the color yet? So let's show you right over here. So we already cut a couple pieces out there. So what we have right here is pure PPF Sapphire Blue. So as you can see, I hope the camera catches it. It's definitely a gorgeous color, very, very nice. This film does come with a cap sheet. So the cap sheet, at first it kind of made me a little bit scared because it was shiny and gloss, but then I realized, yeah, there is a cap sheet on there. So once you pull the cap sheet off, then you get that matte effect. Well, the matte finish comes through. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come in, given that we've already done a handful of these Teslas, we have modified patterns in the past. We saved them in our DAP software, so we're gonna come through. Should be pretty quick and easy. We're gonna try to get this thing done between me and another installer, Roman, and hopefully in about a day. So we'll have this thing done. Do finishing touches on it first thing tomorrow morning because the corners and edges need a little bit of time to dry up so we can roll them fully, get them all locked in. But let's get this boring gray color to a new level.
Couldn't get it spun up.
All right, got the hood done. So we're making some excellent progress on this Tesla. I got the whole front end done. See what I mean? We just gotta wait for these edges to dry up a little bit. This film does not like to lay down when it's wet. Even if you spray tack solution or heated up distilled water, it still doesn't like to do that. So what we're gonna do right now is tackle the back door. Film's a little bit to install, a little bit different to install compared to your regular clear. So it's not as stretchy. So it feels a little more stiffer. So right here, we're gonna overextend that edge, make sure that overlaps. There's gonna be a trim piece that goes here, covers that completely. Roman did a good job there cutting that out. Excellent. Do the same thing here. Grab some tack. All right. Definitely enjoy installing colored films. I enjoy this much better than vinyl wrapping. Vinyl wrapping is awful. It used to be fun, but now with so much competition, so many people opening shops that don't realize what overhead costs are and the expenses that go into running a business and having employees and having bills and making sure that over time you make enough profit that you can scale and grow, reinvest back into your company. You know, they're undercutting the market, undercutting pretty severely. You know, shops around here will charge $2,500 for a full wrap, maybe even less. We give out quotes all the time. You know, prices with us start at $3,800 for vinyl wraps. Should be more than that, honestly. You know, it should be more closer to $4,000. Just the amount of labor that you have to put in, taking a whole car apart, wrapping it, putting it back together, having clips break. You gotta buy clips from the dealership, making sure that you're not reinstalling Chinese garbage parts straight off Amazon. But yeah, so kind of gotten out of it. You know, if somebody's willing to pay, will we do it? Yeah, you can spend your time, really make sure the work is done correctly. Nobody's cutting corners. But so anyway, so paint protection film and color change is where it's at now. Material wise, definitely a lot more expensive. So a roll of this blue actually runs in the neighborhood of $1,800 plus $80 for shipping. So almost $1,900 just for the material. So significantly more expensive compared to vinyl. Vinyl will run you maybe $600. So this is about $1,300 more, which is crazy. But benefits are much, much better compared to vinyl. One, a lot more durable, a lot more stain resistant, does not leave marks, will not fade out as quickly as vinyl. You have brands that offer anywhere from 7 to 12-year warranties now, which is very impressive compared to vinyl wraps, you know, depending what brand you go with. Anywhere from 2 years, 3 years is maximum. So that's pretty significant difference. Anyways, but color change films is where it's at. Still involves a lot of work. Takes time to learn. Making sure that you do it right. But it's worth it. All right, so far so good. All right, now we're doing pretty much the hardest part of the vehicle. We're gonna do this in one piece. So we have soap smeared across the edge here. So we've got our Johnson & Johnson. Just getting it smoothed out right in this area. We put vinyl here because the film is somewhat hydrophobic and satin finish. It doesn't like to tack very well onto each other. So we're going to attempt to tack it on the vinyl piece. All right. So this is a scrap piece that we got from the front bumper. We plotted everything out. So it's a huge piece, probably overkill. Definitely overkill. But either way, I might trim some of it off. It is a little bit much.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So we've done a few of these. If you're doing this in gloss or stealth, you know, I have no problem doing the seam that runs across the edge here and around. But we're gonna try to attempt to do this in a solid piece. So let's see how that goes. That's definitely give it a decent amount of stretch coming across. So let's go ahead and attempt to pour some warm water. Stretch it. Ready, Roman? Is that enough? Or do we need more? I think we need more stretch. Probably relax it a little bit. You see how the top is not fully covered? Yeah, just gotta make sure the top is all covered. See, still got too much fingers there. Dang, that's crazy stretch. Huh. What in the world? If we stretch it downward like this, yeah. More downward like that. There we go. Okay. Now the issue is, how do we get it to tack and hold? All right, I'm making my way there, Roman. Okay, I think we should be good there. Let's mix a little bit more of tack solution. Cool. I'm not really worried about the fingers here. They're not going to pull back. We'll trim it a little bit extra and tuck it a little bit deeper. But that's it. So definitely challenging. There's no glue lines. Everything looks great, nice, clean. We're gonna let this dry up a little bit, wrap these two panels here, and essentially the vehicle's all done. Awesome. see the seams here? Look at that. You can't even tell that that bumper is seamed. I'd say that even looks better than vinyl wrap, because when you do vinyl wrap, you have to overlap the film because it does shrink a lot. But this is pretty much with no tension, just butts up right against it. So, with that being said, the Tesla Model Y Launch Edition is all finished up. Out phenomenal. I mean, absolutely awesome. Wrapped in pure PPF, the Sapphire Matte Blue. So as you can see, it looks amazing. It looks really, really good. We have all these edges wrapped in rolled over. As you can see, there's no gloss showing through anywhere. Everything has been, look at those edges, beautiful. Just a little bit of lint. That edge is wrapped here, coming all the way through. Everything has been wrapped. All of these edges are wrapped. Very, very simple car to do for the most part, but the thing is, it's still very, very time consuming. So we calculated about, so between me and Roman wrapping the vehicle, total labor time for 2 people, so 8 hours, so 16 hours total to get this done, plus about 3 to 4 more hours to do all the finishing touches, coming all the way through, post-heating all of the corners and edges, all of these areas coming all the way through. So yeah, so you're about at least 20 hours into wrapping a vehicle like this specifically. And again, this is not even a very complicated vehicle, so you can't not even imagine how hard and difficult it is to wrap a vehicle like this, right? So wrapping a C8 Corvette, it's a ton of time, it's a ton of material, it's expensive, right? So again, the whole vehicle came out amazing, came out very, very well. If you're looking for this kind of service, make sure you reach out to us. We would be happy to help you out. Thank you for watching the video. We'll see you next Friday at 6 p.m. Bye-bye.